So I'm going to be planting out some seedlings today. We've taken out our potato crops from here, and I can already see some sprouting, so we obviously missed a few as well. But yeah, I've got some tomatoes, some cayenne peppers, onions, and beetroots that I'm going to plant here. To be perfectly honest, I did not check if these are good to be planted next to each other. And I know that planting tomatoes where you've just had a crop of potatoes is not ideal, but I have to plant something here that my chickens aren't going to eat because our silkies have access to this bed. So I've also got some beetroot and spinach and Swiss chard that I need to plant out today. But this is not the enclosed garden. It's just one of our garden beds that we've converted into a vegetable patch. So that's what's going in here. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, I'm going to be clearing out some of the spare potatoes that we found here because they're not all out, and I still need to go get some mulch to put over these seedlings when I'm done. But that's not going to happen today, so it's fine. It's totally fine. I actually woke up this morning not feeling 100% healthy. I feel like I'm getting a bit of flu or something, which is fun, but life carries on. And I bought these seedlings yesterday from a place called The Manger on the East Rand in Gauteng. And they actually do bulk seedlings. They graciously allow us to buy smaller quantities, but the seedlings don't come in a tray. They just pluck them out of their trays of, I think it's 60 or something. So it's important that we get them in the ground as quickly as possible. You know what? I actually need to go get some fertilizer to put along with these. So let me go do that quickly. So I don't actually have any fertilizer to put down. Well, I don't know where it is. I'll have to give my husband a call and ask him. So we will do that after the fact. Sean from Living Seeds is one of the YouTubers and farmers that we really like to follow. He's got a saying that says that most gardeners and farmers in general actually haven't quite earned the right to not fertilize. Now, we compost a lot. We run bokashi compost, a normal compost heap. We do black soldier flies for compost as well. And we've got our earthworms as well. So we'll probably compost this or fertilize this with some earthworm tea. But still, and we mulch everything. So our soil is generally pretty healthy. You dig down a bit. This bed is one of the newer beds, so it's not quite there yet, but there's pretty good earthworm activity all over the place. But still, we need to fertilize. So we will do that sooner rather than later. Need to even out some of the ground as well because we pulled potatoes out, so that left some divots all over the place. To be honest, I'm not a great gardener. I love growing my own food, but my husband is the plant man around here. Darren is the one who spends countless hours researching new techniques and implementing them into our garden. I'm the animal lady. I keep the animals alive and healthy. So but he works a full-time job and I don't, so well, besides homeschooling the kids. I've got a couple of earthworms in here. When I find the really nice fat ones, I usually take a couple to feed to my axolotl noodle. He really enjoys the earthworms. So I'm actually wanting to plant some onions in between the tomatoes. That feels like a good idea. So, like I said, I bought these seedlings from a company called Manger on the East Rand, and they do such a fantastic job. They supply a lot of the bigger farmers who actually sell their produce, but they work with recovering drug addicts and have various skills development programs that they do. And one of them is teaching them how to farm and grow seedlings from seed. They've got a beautiful setup with lots of tunnels, and their seedlings are usually really healthy and grow really well. So when I haven't got time, or Darren doesn't have time to start the seeds, like now, we were a bit lazy and didn't think about our mid-season second plant for summer. Then we take the shortcut route and go over to them. Their seedlings are super affordable as well. Much more so than what you would find in the garden shops around here. And so it's worth a bit of a drive. And I usually try and make a couple of other stops on that side of the world when I'm there. And of course, enjoying some alone time in the car away from the kids and the family and the hustle and bustle of everyday life is great as well, since I don't often get the chance to go out by myself for any extended periods of time. You can see I'm sort of just winging the the spacing here, which often means that we need to fertilize more than usual, because I often end up planting my seedlings closer together than what I should. But it's okay. We make provision for that or Darren makes provision for that during the course of growing. He's the plant man. He sees what they need. He gives it to them. And he's really amazing at that. I must say that I'm really blessed to have a man like him around. He's useful for more than just his gardening skills. He's a really good husband and father. He's quite strong in his faith, and just a generally good leader for us. He makes up for a lot of my weaknesses. He comes in, and those are his strengths. So our relationship works quite well from that perspective. Yeah. It does mean that we often have to tag team each other, and I try my best to make up for his weaknesses as well. Not that he's got many, but we need to fill the gap for each other. It's how any healthy relationship really works. Yeah, some of the things I've found especially challenging in this last year, I mean, reflecting a lot on, since it's the beginning of a new year, new beginnings, new starts, all of that. I'm not one to make major New Year's resolutions, but one of the things I really want to become more involved in this year, with regards to our little farming enterprise here in the city, is to learn a bit more about how to grow plants efficiently. I really want to start nailing seed starting, because I fail quite epically at that most of the time. I tend to start a lot of seeds at the same time, and then they each have individualized needs for optimal growing in those first couple of weeks of life, but my seedlings never come out looking as vibrant and healthy as what they do at the shops. And there must be a way to do it without spending thousands of rands building a greenhouse. I mean, I know there's a way. Darren's often done it. I just need to learn it myself. He started a new job halfway through last year. Still at his old company, but it's a lot more demanding on his time, and so a lot more of these kind of activities are left to me. So I need to learn. I need to learn if we're going to carry on growing our own food and being better people in general. What we usually like to do in this garden bed over winter is to plant a hard winter wheat that we then use to as a sort of like a cover crop. And I bought the winter wheat seeds because I love baking bread, and it would just be the most amazing thing in the world if I could grow my own wheat to mill and bake my own bread with. But unfortunately, we just don't have the space to do that efficiently, to get enough wheat out of the ground. So what I want to do this winter is grow a crop of oats. And the reason for that is that we keep rabbits and we keep chickens. And after we've harvested the seed from the oat stalks, you can dry into hay, and that's quite a nutritious hay for those animals to eat. So then at least, the wheat straw hasn't got a lot of nutrients in it once it's dried out. So not really a great all-rounder crop for us, but the oats I think would be a better option for us to use as a cover crop, sort of. The grass we can cut and feed to the chickens and the rabbits and the quails. What goes to seed we can keep for next year or even to feed to them as well. And the straw can also be used quite effectively, so the whole plant gets used, which is an ideal situation for somebody with as little space as what we have here. Okay, so I've planted out all of the tomatoes. These are just actually stock standard tomatoes that you buy in the shops. They're Texan. Oh, they know the onions are Texans. I can't remember the type of tomato now. But nonetheless, they're not heirloom variety or anything. We've got our heirloom tomatoes in the other garden, and we'll probably start some seeds on that. But just with all the rain that we had, a lot of our tomatoes died down. So we need to get some new tomatoes coming in. And because our climate is quite temperate throughout the year, we've actually had good success with growing tomatoes even in winter. So they don't give you as much yield as they would in summer, but it's worth growing anyway because we eat quite a lot of tomatoes. We cook a lot with it, and there's nothing on this earth better than a good ham, cheese, and tomato sandwich with sourdough bread. So we do that a lot. This area that we live in is really rocky, and because we haven't been vegetable gardening in this particular bed, I think we've been gardening in it for maybe a year and a half. We're still pulling a lot of rocks out from in between. We'll just throw them against the end of the wall there. It's all these annoying little stones. I know these onions are going to get stuck underneath the shadow of these tomatoes, but I found in the past they grow quite well nonetheless. Wish I had some extra basil to plant here because they're good for pest control around your fruiting crops. Although it is quite late in the season as well, so hopefully we won't have too many issues with that. I always make this mistake when I go to manger. No, I just need a couple more seedlings to put in the garden, and then I end up coming home with over 100 seedlings. And it takes quite a... We do live next to a busy street, so the noise is next level sometimes. Okay, so that's the Texan onions planted out. I've got some red onions as well. And a nice big hole here. We'll cover with the mulch. We're definitely going to have to mulch here pretty soon. The ground is almost bare in some places, and we want to avoid that at all costs. Bare ground is dead ground. Okay. Need to start a new row. I'm going to plant out this random eggplant that someone gifted me. You can see I haven't watered them today and it's fairly hot. These are cayenne peppers. We don't typically eat very hot food, but I do want to dry out my own herbs. And I've done it for a couple of my herbs. And cayenne pepper is something that we use relatively often, so I'm excited to do that. And hopefully we can get more than a year out of these plants. And I see there is a little potato growing here. Oh no, it's not a potato, it's something else. I have to say that one of the biggest perks of mulching quite heavily is the lack of weeding that we have to do. Hate having to weed. And the children are not a fan either, so they're not very keen to help me with that. Peppers are done. Probably fit another 2 onions in here. And I actually think I'm going to change the camera angle a bit. So you guys are not talking to my back the whole time. So believe it or not, I actually completely forgot to switch my mic on during this section of the video. It was a total rookie mistake, so please forgive me. But yeah, I just really wanted to share with you all just how therapeutic and cathartic I do find gardening, even though it's not my best hobby or it's not the thing that I'm the best at. It's something that is very meditative. It's a chance to spend slow time, as it were, And it really is something that I've come to enjoy. I never used to be a person that loved gardening, but it's something that Darren brought out in me. And yeah, now I use it as a time of reflection to sort of mull over in my mind what's been going on and process the things that have been happening in our lives. And it's also a time that I use to spend in prayer and spend time with God. And yeah, it's really been amazing just to be able to get out into the sun, to get some extra vitamin D in, and really just be present in the small things in life. And that's really something that I really do find so amazing about not just gardening, but working with our farm animals, and being able to go back to our grassroots and growing our own food is being able to slow life down and be present in everyday life and experience things not in front of a screen. To be able to build memories when the kids are in the garden with me or in the barnyard with me. And those are times that I found to be really valuable and memories that I'll probably will cherish forever. So yeah, that's part of the reason I love growing my own food. Besides just the value of being able to grow nutritious food from soil that you know is healthy, and pesticide free, and all the dangerous chemicals that we have on our food nowadays. Just to know that what we're putting into our bodies is great, is healthy, is great. And there's really few things in life that are so satisfying than wanting to make a lunch or a dinner and being able to go outside into your garden and to be able to pick your vegetables fresh, knowing all the blood, sweat, and tears that you've put into it. It's just, yeah, you can't really compare it to much else. And that's, part of the reason that we dream of moving to a small holding one day where we'll have a bit more space to grow a more substantial part of our own diet, is just for that reason, to be able to slow life down, to get out of the hustle and bustle of the city and the pressures of modern day life, and just be able to slow down and enjoy the time that we've been given on this earth. And yeah, it's such a short time that we're given, and especially so if you consider the time that we have with our children before they grow up and move out, to be able to really just be with them and be with the earth that we've been given is one of the biggest blessings. I'm busy planting out the last of our seedlings here. We've just got some of those red onions left to go. And I think this bed is going to be quite fruitful for us, if I'm honest. I'm excited to see all the things that come out of it. We'll have to put some trellising up over the tomatoes. In the previous shot, you would have seen some of our old wooden frames standing against the wall. We'll probably use that again over the tomatoes just to give them some structure to climb up with. But just wanted to share this little bit of life with you, and I hope that you found it as cathartic as I did, just spending some time in the garden.